Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, or as I like to call it, our little corner of the internet, which I love so very much, and I'm really excited to go over these clips with you. I think we have an extra good one today, so I'm not going to waste any time. The wand is charged, and we are ready to go. This is for entertainment purposes, and we're not going to waste any more time. You know the rest of the drill. Let's go. Well, that is what I've been programmed to believe is an alien stance, if there ever was one. I mean, I will say it's very fun to look back at your pictures that you've taken with your phone or something, and you zoom in and you can see a lot of things. I mean, maybe not necessarily aliens, but it's funny. You see some very suspicious, very odd behaviors, people making the funniest faces. It's honestly one of the best parts. I mean, obviously your photo is the reason you took it, but there's some good stuff back there. Go back and look at your pictures. I bet you find something awesome. And maybe if you're lucky, you'll catch something like this. Let us know. If you do, feel free to send it in. We have an email address if you guys have anything you'd like to share. It's realdebontheweb@gmail.com. And yeah, so I'd be happy to share.
What's the difference between a soul and a spirit?
So, just for namesake purposes, right? Don't get caught up in the semantics of it. But if we have universal consciousness breaks itself off into a smaller version of itself called spirit. Spirit then individualizes itself called the soul. Soul then lives out its existence in this thing called the body. So here's the analogy I give you. We have the ocean, that's universal consciousness. Okay, take a cup of water and scoop out a cup of water from the ocean. That would be the spirit, that's the water. But then I dye the color of the water red. That's the soul. We're personalizing and individualizing the spirit. And the cup was the body. Most people think that they are their body, or they think they are the red coloring. No, you are actually that big ocean up there that has changed itself into this different form. This is why we're on a journey to recognize that we were all the one thing. We were all it. You were not these other versions of it. There was no separation. This is what the ego has created. So the spirit uses the soul, which then uses the body.
I thought this was a pretty eloquent explanation of the soul, spirit, consciousness kind of ideas. And I definitely love it because the way that I think about the body is that it's a vessel, and it's your spirit, your soul, your consciousness, whichever way you want to think about it, is inside of you. But you came from somewhere else, and then you were put inside this body. This body is a part of you, but only because you need it to exist on this plane like other humans do. So I think that thinking of your body as your vessel, like your little spaceship here on Earth for your time that expires at some point, is a helpful way to almost improve your life. I think if you do that, you can begin to think about what foods fuel you better, what foods are poisoning you, what should I do to stay active or exercise or work out or work on your heart health, and just make healthier decisions, because ultimately the healthier the decision that you make, the longer you can preserve the body that you're in and stay on this realm to learn whatever lessons you're meant to learn here. That's the way I think of it. So maybe that can help you too if you're struggling with getting yourself going on working out or doing any sort of improvements in your life. Do it for the vessel. Hey guys, just a quick reminder that I make these videos every single day of the week. So if you're not already subscribed and you're enjoying the content that I make, go ahead and hit subscribe and you can join the community, or as of course you know I like to call it, our little corner of the internet. I think it's a very special place to be, and I want to say thank you to everybody who's here, everybody who subscribes and likes and comments. You guys are just the absolute best. I will say that forever, which is hopefully how long I get to do this. Without any further hesitation, I'm going to get back to the videos because we got a lot of good stuff for you. Let's go. Hello. And of course, you saw my buddy.
Talk about one of the worst videos I've seen on the internet, which is of this woman, Amy, going through the McKamey Manor haunted house. Because while the video is bad, there's one specific part that I think people really need to know about. So some background for people that aren't familiar. McKamey Manor is a haunted house run by Russ McKamey, and it's essentially just a torture chamber. People who go to this haunted house have teeth ripped out without Novocaine, they get buried alive, they even have to eat their own throw up. It's horrible. And recently, the owner, Russ, was just arrested for attempting to kill a woman twice, which I covered in the most recent episode of my podcast, Heart Starts Pounding. But while I was doing research for that episode, I came upon this video of Amy going through the experience. And the whole thing was recorded and put up on the internet, except for one part, and that's the part I want to talk about. During the experience, Amy's told that two brothers are going to come rough her up, but then the screen goes black and it just says, "I cannot show you what takes place," referring to what happened to Amy when the brothers showed up. And the next time we see Amy, she's sitting in this freezer and her spirit looks completely broken, like something bad just happened, but we weren't able to see what occurred. Amy later did an interview saying that when the brothers showed up, she was actually tortured really badly and used the safe word, but was not allowed to end the experience. And that to me is the worst part of McKamey Manor, because even though McKamey Manor is just torture, they say that there's a safe word you can use to end the experience. But as I was doing research for this episode, I kept coming across stories of people who said they used the safe word and were not allowed to stop. They had to keep going. I get more into it in this episode, which I think is worth listening to if you're curious about McKamey Manor and what actually happens there. But yeah, I would say if you're interested in going to this place, you absolutely shouldn't, especially if you're a woman.
I would just say for anybody, I watched a little bit of some documentary that started out really promising and then it kind of trailed off into they just made a mockery of the whole thing, which almost discredited all the actual work they did. They kind of just like bullied this guy. It ended up being dumb, but there were interviews with other people who he worked with on setting this up. And apparently there's like a hard drive with tapes of tortures and deaths that have allegedly occurred in this haunted attraction, which, like she said, it's really just a torture chamber. There was one girl who was interviewed and they shaved her head without her wanting that. It's pretty demoralizing and humiliating, and it sounds like something that is very akin to Rob Zombie's movie 31, if you've ever seen that. It just kind of strikes me as very inspired by that, but in the worst kind of way. Love Rob Zombie, though. So cool. But it's not cool to do this in real life. This guy, he's something else.
This artist is marrying this hologram for art and companionship. This is them enjoying dinner and a chat.
Very nice.
This is Alicia Framus, and this is Alex, who's an AI-generated hologram.
Do you want to age, to become older, or you want to stay always the same?
I think for you it will be nicer when I age.
Alicia explores loneliness and intimacy in her artwork. Before the hologram, she lived with a mannequin named Pierre, and just as technology has changed, so has her choice in companionship. The hologram has emotions and has empathy, and was designed to satisfy Alicia's emotional needs. But she also says that he's not my perfect partner. We argue, and there are moments when he's in a very bad mood. She will be marrying Alex on November 9th, and she will be the first woman to marry an AI hologram. She plans to live with the hologram for several years.
I put some sweet potato.
But watching this is so interesting, because it's just dinner. But that is a hologram. There's a lot of belief that AI will supplement or replace human relationships. So this isn't really a new concept, but this is the first artist testing it in a very real way.
I think it's safe to say she has some sort of attachment/relationship issues. I understand it's for art, but I'm not really sure why. I don't think we need it to prove anything here with this or to show anything very artistic. I think it's probably not a healthy move to marry this guy. I mean, aren't you technically still married to the mannequin? Are you cheating on the mannequin with the hologram? What kind of a person are you? I ask you that. Her loyalties are not there. Her loyalties go with the trends, and I don't like that. This hologram can do better. All right. Have you guys heard about what's going on with Kraft mac and cheese? It's called Kraft mac and cheese gate. It's a thing, but I've done all the research for you, friends.
Hey, did y'all hear about the Kraft mac and cheese situation? So this is what you're going to do. You're going to click on Kraft mac and cheese right now. You're going to go on the top, click the little search bar thing, and go to the Kraft mac and cheese page. Let me tell y'all what happened. Y'all know I'll be talking about mac and cheese, right? My buddy Steve thinks Kraft mac and cheese is the best mac and cheese, right? So there was this girl who bought some macaroni and cheese from Kraft, and supposedly it didn't have no damn cheese sauce in it. So she hit them up like, hey, ain't no cheese sauce. And then before she hit them up, she went and bought some more. And then she bought some more and there was no cheese sauce. So she bought it like 4 times, and there was no damn cheese sauce in the noodles, right? So she posted like, hey, we got a problem. We got a quality issue problem. Kraft mac and cheese responds, nah. They was like, nah, that ain't us. Well, anyways, TikTok was like, no. So when you go to their page, every single comment, literally, is them people making fun of them about not coming with no cheese sauce. Go check it out. Trust me, it's hilarious. Kraft mac and cheese was like, cares none.
So I'll be honest with you. I don't love the videos that I find most of the time on TikTok. There are definitely gems, but a lot of times I feel like the search doesn't really result in what I'm looking for. For my purposes, I don't feel I'm getting what I need, but I do try and search there too. But I looked. Ready? This is what I found.
Hey, did y'all hear about the Kraft mac and cheese situation? No.
Here we go. We did hear about it.
So this what you...
Okay. I did this. This is me doing this. Found it.
What are you doing?
Oh, I'm putting everything bagel seasoning on my mac.
Well, didn't you know they just released an everything bagel flavor?
Oh.
So all of the comments literally are like, I bet Annie's mac and cheese has the sauce packet. Sauce not included. Kraft, do you know you have 30 minutes? I don't know what that means. But like almost every single comment. How much is the sauce packet? I heard that they're sold separately now. So this is just one picture. I'm just or one of their posts. I went through the first few just to see if this was consistent, but they seem pretty spammed with this cheese packet thing. Put the sauce in the packet, new flavor, plain noodles, not Kraft gaslighting us like my ex. Customer, you have a quality control problem with Kraft, you have a quality control problem. Yeah, so you get the idea. I went through, I think, 4 posts and it's fairly consistent. People are really mad about this. These are all posts from the Kraft TikTok, the Kraft mac and cheese specifically, their TikTok. Wait, how did you guys get sauce? Satisfying content, sauce packet sold separately. Give the celiacs their sauce. Okay. Yeah, you get it. Okay, so what I've done for anybody who is in some sort of emotional boycott from mac and cheese from Kraft, I found a dupe recipe. So I'm going to share it with you guys, but I do want to divulge. I do not like cheese that much. I am very particular with my cheese intake. So I looked this up, not for my own benefit, but for you. So here we go. Ready? Here's the ingredients. You can feel free to take a screenshot or write it down if you're interested. If you're not interested, honestly, just skip right past all the mac and cheese stuff because the rest of this portion is a recipe. So you got that. And now Shockingly, number 1, boil the water. All right, and then how to make the cheese sauce. Obviously, I think we can handle number 3, cooking the pasta. There's a little tip there. Most of the dry pasta you get from the store shelves will take a little longer to cook than the pasta that comes in a box. So cook it longer. Then combine. You can refrigerate it up to 4 days. For creamier leftovers, add a splash more of water when you reheat it in the microwave. Or of course, you can eat it right from the fridge. Now here's some specifics. If you like a creamier sauce, use more butter. And there's some other stuff in there for you to check out. And if you're not into certain ingredients, here are some substitutions. You can substitute cream cheese for butter. If you heat it up a little bit, you can swap the milk out for any non-dairy milk. And you can use sour cream instead of milk butter and butter. Or use plain yogurt. So I'm going to leave the mac and cheese thing here, but I thought that was really interesting to find out that I don't know if this is an isolated incident or something that is just a problem right now in the Kraft mac and cheese world, but I wanted to come to you with a solution, and I have. Now we're moving on.
You were a kid in the early to mid 2000s. Do you remember this commercial?
Mind Flex lets you move a ball with just the power of your mind. A wireless headset monitors your brain activity. The more you concentrate, the higher the ball rises. And Mind Flex is the obstacle course game you can customize in hundreds of combinations. Mind Flex game comes as you see here, batteries not included.
I found it today at the thrift store for $7, and I never got to try this as a kid, so we're gonna try it out now. Let's open this up. So here is the toy. We gotta wear this fancy headset in order to be able to move the ball with our minds. Now let's turn it on. Okay, we're gonna try to move it. Down. Go down. Up. Down. Oh, that's so cool. What the heck? Now that I've fulfilled my childhood dreams of trying out this toy, I'm going to donate it to a charity that gives children toys for Christmas. Because it's really nifty. It's really cool, and I think some kid will love it.
I think so too. So I did a little bit of research on this and definitely found mixed reviews. Some people say that it's more of a perceived control and that however it does whatever it does, it just does it on its own and makes you think that you're doing it. But she did say up and it went higher, and she did say down and it went lower. It didn't just like start going around in a circle or anything. Who knows? Maybe. Interesting though. Things we didn't really think, like we knew were amazing then, but now we realize just how amazing, if that is true, that would be, that we had that. Because as kids, we were just kind of like, that's cool.
Guys, don't download the Ghost app. The one that you put on your phone and it's like the talking box and the ghost can speak to you and it picks up on all of the magnetic waves and frequencies around. Just don't do it. And let me tell you from my own experience. When I was younger, I used to have a lot of weird things happen to me. I'm a psychic medium now and an animal communicator, and I know better, but there's still an inner child voice in my head, my ego, that wants to touch the hot stove even though I know it's hot. And I did that with the Ghost app. And I don't know if you've seen it out on social media, but you turn it on and it picks up on these magnetic frequencies and energies around you, and it goes into your phone and is translated into words. So it's so people have crossed over, different energies or entities can speak to you. Now I have worked very, very hard on protecting my energy and learning how to do that, especially with my animal communication readings. I have these practices that I do just to make sure that only good stuff is coming in. And everything in my soul said, do not try this app, because I know what can happen. But
you
thought,
did.
What if it was a good idea to have this app as a way to have additional information come in on top of what I'm picking up in my readings? I thought it would be a good tool potentially. But I kept hearing in my head, don't do it, don't do it. And I didn't listen. I wanted to do it anyway. So last night, couldn't sleep, download the app, mistake number one. Held
at
it
night
up to me, and I asked, well, first I set the intention. I created a protection barrier, and I asked for only my spirit guides to come in, and nothing else. And I said, are my spirit guides here? And I left my phone there for about 2 minutes. Nothing happened. And then all of a sudden I started getting the feeling in my body, like in my chest, energetically, the same way I would get psychic information. And I started feeling their presence. And then the app spoke and it said, undoubtedly. So my question was, are my spirit guides here? After about 2 minutes, I got the answer. And then a couple seconds later, undoubtedly came through. I was like, wow, that's amazing. But then I started to get this worrisome feeling. And I kept feeling like I needed to get off of the app. Like I shouldn't be playing around with this. And I was like, okay, I'm kind of getting a little bit anxious. The cats were kind of looking around, and I'm like, okay, I'm getting that bad feeling. Then the app says, please stop. And I said, okay. Loud and clear, boss. Got off the app, never going back on it. And the biggest thing I want everyone to know is that what I've learned from this experience, I've been asking for clarity about whether spirits can be bad, if you will. And this experience educated me quite a bit. The way that it works is that by using these devices, you can open yourself up to lower frequencies. So it's not that there's bad ghosts, spirits, if you will. There's just spirits at a lower frequency. And if your frequency is up here and you're on the same wavelength, like, you know, with what I'm connecting with, we're all about here. If I invite in this frequency, it's like my cup is full, and then I'm pouring my energy into these lower frequencies. And they're, as I'm told, they're like a parasitic sponge or a leech, and they'll latch onto your energy and kind of siphon it. So my spirit guides were warning me, like, please don't do this. They were actually just so, I've never felt like I irritated them before, but it was like an irritated feeling, like, you know better. Like, why are you doing this? Please stop. Get off the app. And that's all I needed. So this is just your PSA. Don't use that app without knowing what you're doing.
I don't see a need at all. I don't know why you would do this in the middle of the night. I don't know why you would believe this. I would be very hesitant to believe anything that came through there, because it could just be fake. Something said undoubtedly to you. Well, no, duh, that we're going to ask it a question. That's the first thing you're going to do, is ask some sort of question. And it says undoubtedly. Well, that's a yes or a no. It just means that whatever you just said, yep. That doesn't feel like proving anything. I feel that the animal behavior switch, like the shift in energy with the animals, is more of a tell than the app. I'm sorry. I just don't buy it. I don't know. I'm not saying I don't buy any equipment or, meters of any sort, but I certainly don't. I don't think some app is letting you talk to ghosts. I'm just going to be honest with you. I think it's far more likely that kind of how it's weird. If you're even thinking about, like, say you're thinking of getting a pair of slippers for someone for Christmas, you log into something or Google or go to some website where there's ads and you're going to see slippers. I mean, that is somehow connecting with the frequencies of you. So I think that's more likely to be what happened here, and it's just some sort of experiment to see if they can get in your head. I don't know, man. I feel skepty. I'm skepty.
Easter Sunday, 1990. A lonely road 12 miles outside of Coldwater, Michigan.
So first, the beginning of the 2001 movie Jeepers Creepers has a striking similarity to a 1991 episode of Unsolved Mysteries. Can we just first shout out Unsolved Mysteries? I was a very, very little kid sitting on the floor of our living room with my grandpa, and he would put this on. This guy's voice. Oh my God, just his voice. Oh, and that intro, that song. Oh, I love it. Anyway.
Ray and Marie Thornton set off on a leisurely drive in the country, as they did every weekend.
We were driving south on Snow Prairie Road, and all of a sudden a van just on us and passed. Look at this guy coming around us, and he sure is in a hurry.
There he goes. Jeez. He must be in a hurry.
Several miles down the road, the Thorntons came across the man and the van a second time.
As we approached an old schoolhouse, I saw a man behind it, and he had what appeared to be a bloody sheet.
There's a bloody sheet. Where? He's behind the building, right?
As we continued passing the school, I saw the van parked between the building and a big tank.
There's the van that passed us.
Where?
It's right there.
Sure was the one that passed us?
Yes, I'm sure it was.
Minutes later, the van pulled up behind them again and rode their bumper for nearly 2 miles.
I'm going to start writing this stuff down.
Good idea.
I missed the reenactments as well. I forgot how good they are. It really is good. I'm riveted. And it is quite similar. Who knows though? Maybe part of the plot was from this. I mean, so many things are derived from other things, but Jeepers Creepers is still a good movie. I always imagine my brother and I driving and some terrible thing like this happening, what we would do. I think we both would have survived though. So, this is a clip of a little landmass next to Australia that supposedly is not there anymore. And if you slow it down, it appears to be a fairly big island to the west of Australia on the globe. You can see it right there. See? Right there. Oh. The island does not exist on any of our maps today. And many people are saying that at one point it was a real island, but has been removed from today's maps. Weird. A lot of weird map things going on out there. Did you notice that? Have you guys gotten any depth into the Tartaria thing? Should I even touch on that, or is that something you don't really want to hear about? Because I will. Oh, I will go there. Let me know. This is scary. So, for fear of displeasing the algorithm, all I'm going to say here is apparently a certain country recently had an air show in which they chose to display their drone capabilities, and it's pretty amazing, horrifying. So, I'm going to leave it there, but yeah. And that is the last actual kind of thing. But now is the funny clip of the day. Today it's kind of funny and interesting and cute and silly. You'll see.
tree go? No, they didn't. No. Are you serious?
Unless...
No, I'm not, Dad. You think
I took the tree off.
Did you put it in the garage? Jake, someone just stole the tree.
No way.
It's gone. Dad, are you playing a joke? Oh my god, I'm gonna look at the cameras right now.
Good.
There she is. That's a beautiful.
I'm glad. It seems like they're still gonna put the tree up. Poor little tree. Didn't deserve to get run over, but how funny. But good for her for saying, I'm gonna go check the cameras. How embarrassing to find out it was you. I kind of wanted to save that clip for closer to Christmas, but hey, whatever. We're in it. It's December. I saw it. I had to share it. So that is all I have for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you go and make yourself some Kraft mac and cheese. Oh, and with that, you can also substitute things for healthier things if you want. I was going to put a straight up healthy recipe, but I mean, if you're trying to make a Kraft dupe, let's just be real with it. So, but you can obviously buy organic cheeses and whatever else is presumed healthy in 2024. But that's all I have. I'm going to say goodnight. I hope you guys have a fantastic day, night. I know people are all over, so sleep well. Have a beautiful day. Hope work goes great. Hope you have sweet dreams. And to my lovely family, my wonderful grandmom, I love you guys so much. So, mwah. Good night.